spots. I'm guessing that Goodrich and Kyler are in that
Yeah,
category.
yeah. We need to evaluate those guys on the field. Kind of see where they are. I mean, I think we've got some of that at every position. To be honest with you, and obviously quarterbacks are quarterbacks. You're not going to move them to left tackle, but we got some guys in the OL that we need to evaluate. What's the best spot for them? We got some guys up front. That we need to, is this guy going to be better at shade? Is he a better free technique? We got some evaluating to do there. Same thing at backer. Some guys are going to play all three spots, learn all three spots, but what's the best spot for him to kind of call home? We've got to figure that out. Kyler and Mario, can they help us at nickel? Or do we need, which one needs to be filled? Who's going to be boundary? There's a lot of things that we need to evaluate with a bunch of these guys. I'm excited about it. And then we got some of these young guys. Are they ready? How do they process stuff? Take a kid like Brayden Galloway. I don't know. I mean, he's 240 pounds. He's put a lot of work in. But is he going to be able to? Is he going to be able to compete with those older guys? Can he get on the field? Can he process it? Can he learn it? Can you win it at a high level with him? You just don't know where some of these guys' learning curve is, where they are on the learning curve until you start sitting in those meetings with them and get really into the grind of practice, and it really piles up, and you have to see how they respond to the mistakes and so forth.
How do the new redshirt rules affect how you might process some of the guys' performances this during fall camp, about how you want to maybe utilize them throughout the season?
I don't really think it's going to change anything from that standpoint. I think at the beginning of the year, you know who's ready and you know who's not. Now, I do think that we always go into that first game saying, okay, these guys just aren't ready, and we're going to try to hold them. Maybe it's physically they're not ready, maybe it's mentally they're not ready, maybe it's just the opportunity's not great enough for them right now because of the people in front of them. But I think where it changes is you've got a great opportunity to keep them engaged a little bit better because maybe you have an opportunity to get them in the game. You can still only travel 72 when you go on the road. So, that you're going to take the guys that can go win the game for you. But it gives you a little more flexibility when you're at home. And then I think where it will really change is later in the season. Because, or sometimes you might have a guy too that's on the bubble early on. Like we've had some guys in the years where we say, you know what, he's not quite ready right now. He's close, but let's just kind of see what happens these first 3 or 4 games. Whereas if you have a guy like that, you might be able to throw him out there and see how he does, see how he responds. So I think that's a little different, but I think more so the latter part of the season, you'll have a little more opportunity and slip those guys in there whenever you can.
Yeah, well, you mentioned earlier Davian Feaster coming back with Little Nick. What about like Tanner Muse and some other guys that are coming back from injuries? How are they looking coming up?
Yeah, Tanner and Nolan. Nolan, y'all know, had the shoulder surgery. He's having a great spring for us. I think first half, and then was out. So we're excited to get him back, and he looks good. They've released him. They've cut him. He's going to have a restrictor on his pads, but he feels good. He's got his strength back. So the same thing with Tanner. Tanner's had a great summer. Looks great. I think he was 225 as well. He's locked in. He's ready to go. So Jurgen, I'm anxious to see Jurgen. The interesting thing about Jurgen is he can, with the new rule, he can actually play this year and next year. So he can get that whole year back. Because they change, they changed that rule if you're redshirted as a freshman and then you lose another year, it's like automatic. You don't have to do waivers and all this stuff. So he actually technically will be a junior this year. So he's got this year and next year. But how's he going to be? I don't know. We'll see. He feels great. We haven't played football in a while. And other guys.
Trey Lamar?
Trey looks great. He had a great spring. He had an excellent summer. And right now we're in a really good spot. I think Tavian might be the Tavian. I think that's it. I think he might be the only one that might be limited today. tomorrow, and hopefully we'll get him back going next week. And then Skowski. Skowski had back in the summer had a little foot deal, but he should be good to go by next week too.
Dexter's 100%.
Dexter's great. Dexter. It's really amazing how well he played last year. Just and especially when he kind of got hurt again in the season, and still played well. But he's probably the happiest camper we got because this is the best he's felt in a long time, and he's put a lot of work in. His body's in great shape. He's strong in rocks. That big joker can move, so I know he's focused to go have a great year.
Coach, can you talk about the progression of Greg Hugel and his, coming back from injury, what you expect from him?
Yeah, I'm excited. And that's one of those things that has kind of quietly just kind of stayed in the shadows because it's not sexy to talk about the kickers. I guess I don't know. Don't get me headlines on that, but we're gonna have a kicking battle. We got a serious competition going on right there. We all know what Hugel can do. I mean, he's had an unbelievable career and he's done a phenomenal job for us. And he's back and healthy and ready to go. And we threw him out there in front of 50,000 people, whatever, just so he could kind of go do that, kind of get that feeling again. But he's excited. And then Alex Spence, what a spring he had. Started off terrible with his opportunity last year, but really finished strong. I think he hit about 6 out of 8 or so. And then he carried that momentum in the spring and had a great spring. We got BT Potter here now, who's amazing talent. We got Sawicki, who's out there, who's about 250, big old kicker. So we got, I'm telling you, we're gonna have, and it's not very subjective, it either goes between the pipes or it doesn't, there's no gray area. So I'm excited to see that competition. I think that's gonna be as good as anything. The Eagles doing great.
Coach, a couple weeks ago, Dave Doran kind of suggested that Clemson's new facilities might be a reason why y'all are at the top of the conference right now. What kind of impact on and off the field have you seen this complex have?
Well, I think it's great. I mean, we won the national championship before we ever were in this facility. Just to make that note. We didn't move into this building until after we won it all. We brought the trophy with us and stuck it right in the lobby. We weren't sure what was going to go in the lobby. And then January 9th of 2017, I went, you know what, I know what we're putting in that lobby. So, but it's a big deal. I mean, there's no question. I think that buildings don't win. Logos don't win. At the end of the day, you can build a great building, but it's always the people and the culture that drives everything in that building that makes the difference. And who's coming through the doors. Those are the things that I think ultimately matter. But there's no question, I think the commitment to continuing to just get better. And I think that sends the message more than anything. We're always looking for ways to improve. We're always looking for ways to get better. We're getting ready to start construction here pretty soon on a sports science area. So we're just always trying to get better as a program. And the West Zone was great, and Dan Raddick, but I just got the job and they were doing that. I'm like, well, hey man, I'd have gone wherever they told me to go. But it wasn't long term what we needed. I'm thankful that Dan and the administration they kind of got behind what I wanted to do, and we were able to build this building. But we were winning before we came in this building, and so it's definitely a part of it. There's no question, but it's not. You can't just go build a building and start winning. It's way more than that.
Yeah,